if a carpenter is too good to produce something for you, then they are too difficult to deal with. They take too long to produce the stuff. Typically, take us through the process of you taking my thinking and turning it into a reality dream of a furniture, of a table that I need to...
Altering comes with its own effects. So, first of all, it takes honesty to please tell the customer or the person ordering that after this description, it will take this time. And
I want you to start by telling us, how did you think about starting Marketing Africa? What was the inspiration behind it? And what is Marketing Africa all about as a company?
When I was at the university, we had a publication. It was called the Marketing Review. And we were able to publish that magazine and get 18 full-page adverts at that time, which was a first. I've never seen it up to today.
My name is Martin Anthony Nsubuga. I'm the CEO of Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. And I've served the institution until now, where I've grown to the position of the Chief Executive Officer. So I've seen UBRA since its establishment.
I was also the person who started the organization as interim CEO for the organization. My role was to set up the organization, and here we are.
It has been a really new experience in my life. As you may have heard, UBRA was non-existent. There was no formal regulatory environment for pensions or retirement benefits. So we are a pioneer. We were appointed to set up the architecture and the environment for regulation of retirement benefits and pensions.
So the Ministry of Finance, because I was the technical person really handling all these reforms, they asked me to come and set up this institution, which is the Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. So I was requested to start as interim chief executive.
But now we have over 19 trillion shillings in the pension fund. That's a very good contributor to national development. And in the future, I'm sure this money we shall not go to borrow. We shall use this money of the pension fund to really develop our country.
You'd appreciate that this is not a small contribution for a sector that was not regulated. But overall, it was part of the global reforms that we are seeing in other countries in the pension sector.
To me, that's a plus for the authority.
And you can imagine in a very short time, in less than 10 years, we have over 19 trillion. It believes that within the next 5 years, we should be over 40 trillion.
To me, that is that who save with these different schemes, knowing that somebody is there, making sure that my money that I put in any scheme is safe, is protected.
So one of the main objectives was to safeguard the interests of the members. Now, what this means is that the moment members' interests are safeguarded, their rights are protected, it then boils down to growth of the sector. Now, what we've seen in the last 10 years is that the sector, the assets under management have more than tripled. So within a span of...
Let's understand the market. Who is doing what in the market? So I think that phase helped UBRA create the visibility, create identity for the first 3-4 years. Over the years, they've also been able to do publicity
to kind of show the market, show the public that this is what we do, and especially as you plan for your retirement.
At least for the last 10 years, we've not had any corruption, loss of members' funds. We've also not had any poor investments, because investments are all known, structured, in particular known asset classes that provide a very good return to the member. And actually in this period in time, that's when the sector has witnessed high returns to the members, double-digit returns for the last 5 years or thereabout.
So, in my opinion, that is trust from the general public that we are doing the right thing, and we hope that we continue to do that.
In the next 10 years, what I would like to really see going forward is the spread of coverage, because the pension sector is really in the formal sector. And
who are in the retirement schemes, but UBRA should also then allow and come up with mechanisms to support the players to be able to onboard all the smallholders, all the informal sector to come in and secure their retirement by participating and joining the licensed pension schemes in the market.
And so my thinking is that we need to support the institution, particularly Parliament of the Republic of Uganda needs to support resource mobilization for allocation to the authority, so that the authority can continue with the widening the coverage.
People now, instead of keeping money in boxes, will keep here, and it is in the financial sector, and it's easy to tap in. And the cost of money will go down, but our investment in the country will go high. And I can tell you, if we make very good regulations, we will have the support of Parliament.
I believe that the next 10 years are quite pivotal. We've gone through the best building of the industry, and right
the next 10 years is an organization that is efficient, that is creating value for the benefits. Efficiency meaning when I contribute, I must be guaranteed that 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when I retire, my money will be there. And ensuring that the monies that I contribute are invested in assets that will make my money grow. Not just putting in 1 shilling, and 20 years, you're paid 1 shilling. When I put in 1 shilling, I should be paid 100 shillings at the end of 30 years. And that's the objective, and that's efficiency.
I think to the customer out there, who might not even think they're a customer because you ride a boda, you are in the garden, you don't even have anything to your name, UBRA will find you wherever you are and will look after you, because it's their mandate to look after you in retirement. And they can only look after you in retirement if you avail yourself now. And all they want to do for you is to make sure that when you hang up your boots, when I hang up this jacket in retirement, UBRA wants me to live a fulfilled life, a life bereft of poverty, a life of joy and happiness. And UBRA works with people and different entities to deliver that. As service providers, I think we'd want to say congratulations again, UBRA. We feel the heat sometimes, but we are ready for the task.
As we celebrate, let's also remember that there are those who are not yet part of the saving culture, and we find ways of bringing them forward. I wish you a happy celebration.
As we celebrate 10 years of service protecting retirement benefits in this country, allow me to thank the Board of Directors of Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. You have been very instrumental and very focused. Allow me also to thank the staff and management of UBRA. You have supported the cause. Allow me also to thank my predecessors, the first interim CEO, Mr. Moses Bekavio, the Chief Executive Officer, my immediate predecessor, Mr. Bonyi David Nyakundi, the government of Uganda, who have supported us, providing us with all the resources that we need from the day UBRA started up to now, the regulated entities, the stakeholders, the fund managers, the custodians, the administrators. Without you, we would not be talking of structures of governance in this market. And of course, the members who are saving, who have trusted us, who have continuously saved with the different schemes. Allow me to assure you that as we deliberate on this direction for the next years of service, At UBRA, we shall continue to protect your retirement benefits. May God bless you. May God bless your families. May God bless our country, Uganda. Let us celebrate as we thank God.
It is a creative industry talk. My name is Eddie Okela and this is House of Talent Television. Welcome to the program. This week on the program, we bring you the story of those who are doing it in Uganda. And of course, we are always talking about local content development by Uganda, build Uganda. Do we really understand what this means? Do we know what local content development means? Everyone is talking about it. And today on the program, we decided to focus mainly on the woodwork in Uganda. You know, the creative industry talk is talking about, you know, furniture building in Uganda. Do you buy Ugandan furniture? Do you have a Ugandan furniture in your building? Or are you all the way flying to China and to all these other places to have furniture from there? Yet you have people who are doing this woodwork in Uganda. On the program today, we focused their story and of course the interview to the young men who I found around the streets of Kampala. One day I was driving and I was looking for Ugandan furniture, and so I used to drive on the same road over and over, and I see this place and there's a couple of young people just doing their stuff, you know, crazy ideas and, you know, things put around the place, and I decided to give them a visit. It started raining, so I stood there for a couple of hours watching and seeing what was going on while I wait for a table to come to my office. And indeed, they made a table. So what I was looking for was, do they really understand what they're doing? Do they understand the art, you know, behind the creativity that they're actually, you know, involved in? And along the way, I realized that they just simply need, you know, somebody to believe in them. So we decided to bring them onto the program today so that we can enjoy the creative minds and the creative people of Uganda in the woodwork in Uganda, in the furniture business in Uganda. All to the creative industry talk. And of course, my guest today is a man from the eastern part of Uganda. David Anderson Onyango was one of the people leading that particular business, you know, on that particular street in Kampala, Uganda, to the furniture business and supply in Kampala. David, welcome to the program. How are you doing? Here we spread the love. When you do this, you must spread the love. So you have to spread the love, yes. Welcome to the program, and I'm going to take off my glasses so that the creativity can start. First of all, we want to start. You can say it all started from here.
I think it was around 2002. I created my first tipper with actually the ability to tip its content. All in the streets of Mulago, and it had lights, it had the tipping part.
Yes.
I refused to sell it off. I would sell a lot of items, but I kept that one for myself because
wow.
I think it was the beginning of it.
Yes. Now, talking of that, did your father or your mother ever see you as a creative person?
Well, I grew up with my mother for most of the time, and as you know, life in Kampala, you don't really get time to be with you. You create something good, then you can get money from it. And I think the greatest motivation is always money at the end of the day.
You speak with the word plural, which means us. Who are we? Us referring to who? How many are you in the family, and are you the firstborn or the lastborn?
I am the second last born. Yeah. We are in a family of 4 children. Yeah, I have a bigger brother. Uganda build Uganda. I think this is what empowers us as Ugandans to come back to our to develop and support our own pieces of furniture here, our own items here, made by our creativity and our materials. And it pulls us back to understand that we are going to receive furniture that has been made based on our ability as Ugandans, but feel proud of it because it is made here by our own and from our own materials.
Talking of that, David, most times we think that, when we're looking to buy a bed, I go to Nina Interiors of this world, I go to big time furniture shops to get a bed. But also there are these guys on the roadside for low cost housing conditions, furniture where people usually just go to, buy their bed at that area. But we tend to think about validation and the point of buying furniture from the sense that I want imported furniture. That is when I feel that I have spent my money right. Having started this business, what motivated you to move towards it, and why? Why yet the odds against you are quite too straight that I will go to Mina Interior to buy furniture from, or I will go to slightly moderate place to buy furniture from there because I want to, there's this notion that a Ugandan made furniture is not good.
Well, my main motivation was and still is the fact that when I look at the furniture from the what you call the high class sell places, I don't see any difference. They actually work a lot on budget. So our local furniture, our local carpenters here do produce items, let's say a bed, using the same materials, the same quantity of wood and even more, and waste it. But because they demand so less from them.
Guys are coming in to sort of like redefine the thinking that has always been there of we can make the Ugandan wood look good, we can make the Ugandan wood look good, and a person can be more prouder to buy from Uganda and even custom make something to their taste. How has that journey been like, and how are Ugandans responding to that creativity?
Initially, it was hard.
Yeah. Trust you, I give you business, I trust that you take my creative thinking and turn it into a reality, and you give me this furniture that when I sit in, if it's a chair, I feel good, if it's a table, I feel nice to sit and take my cup of coffee or eat food. If it is bed, when I go to sleep, I feel comfortable that this is something I thought about how I wanted the bed to be like, and I went to David with my creativity, and he turned around my creativity into a reality.
Well, definitely, it is because we've been able to pay back these people's consideration, the customers' consideration, exactly the way they give it back.
Continue while we dive into the whole point of creativity. What is creativity by his understanding, and does what he does every single day represent the whole heart of creativity? Furniture, Ugandan made furniture. Do you have a furniture in your house, by the way? If you don't have one, perhaps you need to consider this, guys. All of us dream big, but you must have somebody who can bring your dream into a reality. Stay right there. I'll be right back after the break. This is the Creative Industry Talk.
If you create a space which enables people to think and thrive, that's a bonus. Before I started working officially, I used to do a lot of freelance work. And as a young freelancer, my laptop was on my back. And I didn't have an internet connection.
It is a creative industry talk, and welcome back to the program. In the studio, we are talking to David Anderson Onyango from Oracle Furniture Limited. David, welcome back to the program. David, a lot of time when I am dreaming, everyone in life dreams of something good, something, fantastic, something, nobody wants to live a poor life, and we believe that everybody is born creative. We all aspire to have something good in life. Furniture is one of those things that we want to have at home. Nobody wants to be in a house that doesn't have good chairs or good beds or or a TV stand and stuff like that. We want to talk to you about creativity from the point of how you take my creative thinking and turn it to a reality that becomes the table or become the TV stand that I use at home. And most times, carpenters in Uganda, all world over, they always say that if a carpenter is too good to produce something for you, then they are too difficult to deal with. They take too long to produce the stuff. Typically, take us through the process of you taking my thinking and turning it into a reality dream of a furniture, of a table that I need to have home. And how long does it typically take? Because sometimes you take way too long that people get frustrated. That's why we go for imported wood.
Well, it is very true, and it is a great challenge to, I think, the furniture industry generally. And I think that is what gives a lot of platform to those people that sell finished products.
Yes.
But for custom woodworkers, first of all, you have to understand that the time is not negotiable. The time of production, actually, the process through which this item is supposed to be produced cannot be altered. Usually the altering comes with its own effects. So,
when we're talking about the local content creation for, buy Uganda, build Uganda.
Through apprenticeship. So that is the biggest challenge. You learn the skill, you don't get the business skill because the teacher wants to keep their best business. And then the business methods they indulge in are also less practical.
Yeah.
They have been written in books. They have not been actually applied sometimes. So I think one needs to first of all learn the dynamics. Consider carpentry as a business, as a trade. And the rules of trade are the same regardless of which trade you're going in. We have standard rules that don't change. So currently, I think it is something I personally took upon myself, and in our kind of business, we do have apprentices, by the way. We do take in students. They learn, especially through the lockdown. We've had a lot of them coming in and to take on the skill. But we always give them 1 or 2 days in a month where they come into the selling desk and they get to see what it means to actually do the sale. You don't have to be on the planer all the time, on the circular saw. You need to know their children into this woodworking just because of how they saw it move. And now the availability of power tools has improved a lot.
Yeah.
It has improved the whole process. It has made it more conducive for the customers to see and for us to work. The environments we work in are less cluttered, and that is.
So it's not woodwork as we used to know back in the days, where the guy would be, with a nail banging things and trying to turn around things, and it's more professional now. It's more like you're saying that we're learning from you. There's more, electronic tools that have come in that has made this kind of creativity quite very easy. David, that's really fascinating to hear that the customer is involved in the process. So do you think having the customers involved in this process is beginning to change the mindsets of Ugandans, of Africans, that yes, we can make this ourselves, yes, we can make our own furniture, yes, we can make beautiful things, yes, we can turn around our living spaces and, to something that we enjoy to be in, that I can actually be creative and see my room, my little room like this, and think about how this is going to be here, that's going to be there, and I walk to a carpenter and make this, become a reality. Do you think that is improving as the time goes? And where do you see us in the next, couple of years from now?
Well, it's really improving a lot. It has helped achieve this particular goal.
Yeah.
So if you want that as an end result, you have to come into this type of interaction. Has always yielded good fruits, because in that way you get to know each other's challenges and work ways around them every time you're doing transactions with those people.
Okay, so I've seen there are people who come up with good ideas. They have an understanding of what they are looking for as a place, or as a wood, or as a furniture to have at home. And in most cases, they say, I want a black and green and yellow furniture at the same time. Do you always advise them, you know, like, do you go to somebody's house and say, look, the kind of furniture you want, looking at the space you have and looking at the colors that you have in the house will clash, and maybe you'll have to have this? And do customers usually respond to it? Because I see also another side where people are so obsessed with the, you know, spraying things and putting different colors, natural things like the ones we have.
I want a Mugavu TV stand, but I want it wall mounted. But you see, a Mugavu TV stand is going to be extra kilograms.
Yes.
So
if you mount it on the wall and your wall is not strong, basically you're saying it will come down.
It is going to come down.
Yeah. So how do I help them achieve such
sometimes,
goals?
Yeah, most of the time, you do advise them. Yeah. If you want to wall mount, you're going into you can go into something lighter. We have other lighter pieces of wood, and they look beautiful too. And we can tone them in different ways. Usually wood has a lot of its own tonation, but then when we are going to tone it artificially, we prefer the lighter varieties, the Mosambias, the pine. Well, pine has been embraced very much because of the environment. But well, those are not two options. That is one. You're going into law school.
Yes.
I said, okay, then that is law school. So I went into law school, but the passion did not go away. So I brought myself back into carpentry personally after chasing after law, and I'm still chasing after it. Yeah. And the carpentry has been able to pay for, you know, the expenses of law school in excesses. It pays, it maintains me, and it has given me a chance to show a lot of other young people like me that we can do this. Well, you may not have two options like me. You may have one, which is law. You may have one, which is woodwork. You don't have to stay into one. You don't fix into one. You can go into each of your options, or you can take them on as a bunch. The human brain has the ability to do both.
Wow. Well, we are talking to David Anderson Onyango, and this is a Creative Industry Talk where we discuss Ugandan local content, specifically and directly, you know, focused on, you know, local content development on woodwork, and specifically on Ugandan-made furniture. How do you find Ugandan-made furniture? We're going to be showing you some really good furnitures out there made by these guys in people's homes from their workshop. We want to make sure that everybody who is out there and is a creative mind, you know, find this platform quite a very interesting platform for them to be part of. And of course, creativity and coffee goes all together, David. So I'm gonna just, you know, make for you a French press as we take a break. You also take a moment to just make a French press for yourself. And we're gonna take a coffee break. And the Creative Industry Talk will be right back after this break.
Actually, my editor told me, Jeremy, there is no way you can call your book Man on Top.
Yes.
And I said, no, I'm actually going to call it Man on Top because I think I can sell it.
Yes.
Okay?
No,
Yes. So for me, a man on top is a man that is faithful, dependable, and responsible.
Yeah.
So I began a campaign about saying you're a man on top, you're faithful, you're responsible, you're productive. Yeah. So every man has within them a desire to be those three things: to be faithful, to be productive, and to be responsible. So every person who thought they were faithful, responsible, and productive said to call them
Welcome back to the Creative Industry Talk. My name is Eddie Okela and this is House of Talent Television. Of course, we're talking to David Anderson Onyango from Oracle Furniture Limited, you know, a Ugandan, authentic Ugandan outfit making furniture for people's beautiful homes, beautiful furniture, beautiful people, and you can go there and create your own. And he's earned himself the right to be on the Creative Industry Talk because some of the things in the studio where we're seated today is actually done by David and his people. The first time I met these guys, I went into their workshop, sat there and decided I have something I need them to do for us. And so I like to, you know, work with together. I love to bring the best out of people. So I decided to give them the opportunity to be able to build a woodwork and to build a studio with me, and we did this together. David, welcome back to the program. And we want to talk about it. So this studio here is built by you guys. You know, the woodwork in this studio built by you guys. We gave you guys a recommendation and we've got a fantastic review coming back from Legal Hub that they're very happy with their studio. You were never traditionally doing studios. You didn't even do them. We open up the door for you. How does that make you feel like when somebody takes you away completely from making chairs and beds and, you know, the living, you know, room, you know, furniture to now building, you know, TV studios, radio studios and audio studios? How does that make you feel like?
Seriously, it is a very good experience. When I'll begin from your items here, the studio work. When we first produced them, everyone was stopping at the workshop. So what is this?